In most stories, dying gets you a golden ticket to a fantasy paradise. For Han-woo, death was just another debt collector. He didn't wake up as a hero with a cheat code, he woke up in a body that's literally rotting from the inside out, in a world where the system doesn't give you quests, it charges you interest in blood. My name was Han-woo, a man who died in Seoul running from loan sharks, only to realize that in this world, even your soul has a price tag. And if I don't pay up by midnight, I become the very monster I'm supposed to hunt. The transition from life to death wasn't a tunnel of light. It was a cold, digital transaction. One moment, Han-woo felt the freezing rain of Seoul and the blunt impact of a truck's grill, the next, he felt nothing but a sharp, biting cold in his marrow. He opens his eyes to the smell of ozone, old parchment, and decaying meat. He isn't in a hospital. He's lying on a cold stone floor in a damp, gothic manor that looks like it hasn't seen a cleaning crew in a century. His hands are pale, too pale, and covered in jagged, obsidian veins that pulse with a faint, sickly blue light. Before he can even scream, a cold, blue interface flickers in his vision, shimmering like a broken CRT monitor. Client authenticated, Han-woo. Vessel, Seoul Thorn. Status, bankrupt. Current debt, 10,000 soul essences. Interest rate, 5% daily. Failure to pay results in permanent erasure. Seoul Thorn. The name tastes like ash. Memories that aren't his own begin to flood his mind, fragments of a disgraced minor noble who gambled away his family's legacy and eventually sold his soul to an outer god just to feel a spark of magic. That magic turned out to be the obsidian rot, a virus that turns the living into crystalline husks. He stands up, his legs shaking. He realizes he isn't a hero, he's an auditor in a world of nightmares. He walks toward a cracked, silver-framed mirror. The face looking back is handsome but gaunt, with eyes that look like they haven't slept in years. The black veins on his neck are moving, crawling higher toward his jawline. The system isn't here to help him level up, it's here to collect. The world outside the window is even worse. This is Aethelgard, a dark fantasy landscape where the sun never fully rises. The sky is a bruised, permanent violet, dominated by the shards of a fractured moon that hangs like a broken bone in the heavens. Below, the valley is choked by a glowing purple-blue fog. This isn't a world of adventure, it's a world on life support. The Church of Eternal Light rules the cities, hunting glitchers like Seoul. They believe the rod is a divine punishment for those who sought forbidden knowledge. But as Han-woo stares at the holographic ledger in his eyes, he feels a strange sense of familiarity. He spent 10 years calculating interest and navigating the predatory lending laws of the Seoul underworld. To the people of Aethelgard, this system is a curse from the gods. To Han-woo, it's just a high-risk loan. If the world wants to treat his life like a transaction, he's going to make sure the world goes bankrupt first. Suddenly, the temperature in the room drops. The shadows in the corner of the study begin to thicken and peel away from the wall. A low, rhythmic scratching sound echoes against the stone, the sound of metal dragging on bone. His first interest collector has arrived. A ranky shadow wraith, a creature made of stitched shadows and rusted, ancient armor, pulls itself out of the floorboards. It has no face, only a porcelain mask with a single, weeping eye painted in red. The system screams a warning in a flashing red font, debt collection in progress. Current balance, 0, warning, collateral seizure imminent. Penalty, immediate soul extraction. The wraith lunges, its movements jerky and unnatural. In any other manhwa, the protagonist would have a sword and a sudden burst of adrenaline. Seoul has neither. But as he watches the wraith move, he realizes something. The monster isn't attacking randomly. It's following a scripted pattern, a repetitive loop of aggression and retraction. It's exactly like the predatory debt collection algorithms he once programmed for the mob back on Earth. The wraith swings a rusted blade, shattering the mahogany desk Seoul was leaning against. Wood splinters fly, cutting his cheek. A single drop of blood hits the floor, and the blue ledger in his vision pulses. "You want my soul?" Seoul whispers, his voice rasping. "Sorry. It's already been leveraged 3 times over. You're fourth in line, buddy. He doesn't run. He lunges toward the wraith, not to strike it, but to touch it. He licks the blood off his palm, pressing his hand against the creature's porcelain mask. I want to authorize a high-interest emergency loan, he snarls. Collateral, my remaining lifespan. The system glitches. Loan approved. Interest rate, 500%. Overclocking vessel. Blue sparks erupt from Selim's hand. The obsidian veins on his arm glow with blinding intensity. He doesn't use a sword, he uses the rod itself. He forces the virus into the wraith, turning the monster's own dark energy against it. The creature shudders, its porcelain mask cracking as the blue light burns it from the inside out. With a final, digitized shriek, the wraith shatters into 1,000 shards of shadow. Balance updated, plus 500 soul essences. 9,500 remaining until midnight. Selim falls to his knees, gasping for air. His heart is hammering against his ribs, and the black veins on his arm have spread to his chest. He isn't saving the world, he's just starting his shift. He realizes that by liquidating these creatures, he isn't just paying his debt, he's gaining equity. The more he kills, the more the system upgrades his ledger, allowing him to short the magical abilities of his enemies. By dawn, the manor is silent again. Selim stands on the balcony, looking out at the distant imperial city, which glows with a fake, holy light. He has less than 20 hours until the next payment is due. He doesn't need a holy sword. He doesn't need a dragon to slay. He needs a bigger market. In Aethelgard, the man who owns the debt owns the world. And Selim Thorn just found his first investment. He adjusts his tattered coat, the blue light of the system reflecting in his eyes like a predator in the dark. The hunt for the god's ledger has begun.